We've got ourselves a new defender hole, and how good is it really? I figured I would run a few control tests on the level 92 Kixeye employee base and see what this thing actually does. Here is the first method, which I'm calling the kill outside, which reaches about half the maximum debuff because we have 3 holes firing pretty much constantly for almost a minute, about 40 seconds. So maybe 2/3 of maximum debuff lowering the deflections. And if you don't know what the Piranha does, is it lowers the deflections on your fleet. So I just did the worst possible situation essentially, let it hit me outside and lowers my deflections. Now I'm going to charge in the base. I'm driving the same in all of these different test conditions as best as I can tell. End up just going through the channel here, don't take any gatekeeper damage, and once I'm in, I'm going to speed up the video a little bit further and just get to the results a little bit more quickly. You can see I didn't really take a lot of damage in this base anyway, and I've only been hit by turrets for maybe 20-30 seconds total driving through the base, which means my deflections only matter, they're only lowered for 20-30 seconds. The Piranha, it's hard to tell if it really is effective because it's lowering your deflection, which means your enemy turrets are stronger. And damage taken here, you can see a little bit of damage is corrosive and explosive, where I do take some radioactive damage as well as some ballistic damage for 18 minutes in the kill outside condition. Now let's do the zero effect condition where I'm going to stack outside, kill everything, retreat, and come back in. You obviously can't do this in a normal player base because they would repair and you have to win in one hit, but in the 92 Kixeye employee bases, I can do that. So everything's dead, coming back in, taking the same driving approach here. The timing is a little bit different, but I still don't get hit by any of the gatekeeper salvos, which I'm completely fine by. So I can't really tell if I end up taking any extra damage not for this one. You will notice on the battle report when I get to that the zero effect condition has no damage taken from radioactive, so from the Tempest launchers, and has no damage taken from corrosive, so the Drax Scatter 2s, whereas the maximum debuff or kill outside method actually did. So I am taking more damage, a slight amount, like 0.1% more damage from the corrosive and radioactive in the kill outside test condition. 17 minutes, 56 seconds damage on the zero effect condition. Now let's just try ignoring them and driving straight through the channel. I'm going to not even click on them, just click on the portals and drive straight through. This will mean that I am stacked, which is a horrible way to drive against these things, and I am being slowed down a little bit if they can catch up to me, which it looks like they are having trouble doing, which means this is probably a bad build, which sort of surprises me because this base belongs to the Kixeye employee who actually made this hole that's the designer for this, Kixeye Braden, so it seems like it wasn't very effective ignoring it because I could just outrun it. Maybe it did slow me down a little bit more in front of the far side weapons, a little bit more in front of the Tempest, a little bit more in front of the Decimators, but this hole is obviously not doing any damage, and I just elected to completely ignore it and see what actually happened. This would probably be one of the better ways to hit player bases. You can see I did take some corrosive damage and some explosive damage, so I was debuffed a little bit from somewhere, as well as some radioactive damage. 22 minutes on that condition. So now going back to answer the question on the thumbnail, how useful is it? I figured I would present this to you and let you make your own conclusion off of these observations. Maybe you do your own testing, maybe there's some flaw with the testing I've done. What I've seen is this hole doesn't appear to be very effective in this situation. Let me know if you think something different, and as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.